Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Sometimes I tremble, 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 tremble. Sometimes I tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they nailed him to the cross? Were you there when they nailed him to the cross? Sometimes I tremble, tremble, tremble. Sometimes I tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the cross? Were you there when they took him from the cross? Were you there when they took him from the cross? Sometimes it makes me tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they took him from the cross? Sometimes it makes me tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they took him from the cross? Were you there when the stone was laid away? Were you there when the stone was laid away? Sometimes it makes me tremble, tremble, tremble. Sometimes it makes me tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the stone was laid away? And that's when the soldiers guarding us on the instructions of Caiaphas, the man that most responsible for the crucifixion of our divine Saviour. Fraud was ever one. And our Saviour was rising from the tomb. The angels rolled away the stone. The soldiers got an awful fright, fainted nearly, and ran. And they reported to Caiaphas and his cronies what had happened. And they bribed him with the 30 pieces of silver not to tell what happened. That's how bad Caiaphas and his cronies were. Yeah, they brought a curse in their race when they said to Pontius Pilate, "Let his blood be on us and our children." The stone was rolled away. Our Saviour appeared to his Blessed Mother first, and those not recorded. Our Blessed Mother never wanted him noticed. He appeared to Mary Magdalene and told Mary to tell the apostles. He appeared to the disciples at the road to Emmaus at the breaking of the bread. They recognized Jesus. Nearly fell out there standing. We have a picture of it out in the hall. Yeah, the road to Emmaus. And they went back, turning on as they were, to tell the apostles. But the apostles didn't believe Mary or them. And when Jesus appeared to them, later and showed them the wounds inflicted on his sacred hands and feet and his side, he gave out to them that they didn't believe Mary Magdalene and the two disciples. And Thomas then didn't believe, but so he was even worse. Newton Thomas, when he was there, Jesus appeared and told Thomas to touch his wounds, which he did, and fell to his knees, saying, "My Lord, my God," ashamed of his unbelief. And Jesus said to him kindly, "You believe, Thomas, because you've seen. Blessed are those that have not seen and yet believe." And that's Catholics down the centuries who still believe. And we shed many a tear when we contemplate the passion and death of our Saviour and the cruelty inflicted on the sacred and divine person that brought such good, healing people, rising people from the dead. Oh, a lovely painting by Tissot with all the handicapped people along the road, and you can see Jesus in the distance coming along. They're all there waiting to be cured. Beautiful picture. I must try and get it and copy it and do a painting. That's what I have behind me. The Betrayal of Jesus. A copy of painting that I did from a picture of Caravaggio. Marvellous painting. I treasure it. I treasure it. Bye now, and we'll see you in the morning. Enjoy the rest of your evening and watch the biodiversity business.